All right, let's get started. First things first, very easy softball to start with. How long has everybody been with the company? Hello? Hi. And been with the company for 8 years.
Over 3. Next month marks my 6th anniversary.
Okay. So they know a little bit about recruiting. I am going to call you guys expert recruiters. But I know that's not exactly a comfortable thing to call yourself when you're becoming an expert because you just don't think that you are. But on your journey to be an expert, tell me a little bit about what it was like in the beginning for you on the phones or talking with prospects. And I'll start with you, Kathy.
Very hard. I would look at my phone, it felt like it was 1,000 pounds to pick it up. And, it was hard. But once I started to make those calls, I started to just keep dialing and dialing and dialing. And yes, it was very difficult to hear the word no. And it's funny because, now I do a lot of listening to different types of network marketing people out there. And there was this one woman that said, as children, we hear the word no so many times. By the time you get to your adult life, you must have heard it a million times. Why is it that we freeze in network marketing when we hear the word no? It's hard because you want to share what we have. And it's so powerful what we have here. And at the beginning, it was hard because what I saw, I was trying to educate others to see the same thing. And trying to get over that hurdle was really tough, but it didn't stop me.
You're like ignorance on fire in the beginning. You're like, guess what? And then people are like, no. What? I can feel that. And then you start to feel like, well, maybe I don't have something great. Well, maybe I don't. And I'm sure you have those ups and downs as you go through it. Okay, so do you use a script?
At the beginning I did, and then I just started to tailor it to my own. And when I'm talking with a person, I make the call about them, not about me. So I ask them their reasoning why. I will try to relate to certain things that they and I may have in common, and then have a little side conversation in regards to that. And then go into the information, ask them if they have questions, if this seems like something that they want to do, and just have a one-to-one conversation, not just throwing everything up at them, but explaining to what we have to help them change their way of living.
Thank you, Kathy. For you, Victoria, same question. On your journey to expertise, you were amazing in your first prospecting call, right?
Not at all. With me, I was so determined, okay, so I'm ex-military. I am used to the T, saying everything exactly correctly, and so I would sit there and memorize every word that was in that script and try to have it memorized. And then when I realized I didn't have it, I would fall all over myself. I wanted perfection rather than a relationship, and when I started seeing it as a relationship rather than the words I'm saying, it makes it so much easier.
So you needed to cross every T and dot every I. That's the engineers in this room, the numbers brain people. Raise your hands. Who needed to cross every T and every I, get it completely right when you started prospecting? You're making a face. That was you, huh? Well, guess what? She did too, and I'm 100% sure in that first week of conversation, somebody threw you a curveball.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
That's not in my script. Right? But the minute you give that up and put your personality into it, and you're willing to have a conversation and be willing to let that person go, doesn't that change everything?
I think the big thing is, like Kathy just said, getting to know their why. Where are they as a human being? So many of us get on the phone with a telemarketer, right? And they don't hear what we're saying. They're just going on with their script. They're not hearing where we are and what their heart is and where, what's about them, And when you dig into that, it makes it so much different I mean, I enjoy every human being I talk to, you know? It's just, I'll go back to the phrase that I was raised with from my grandfather, that each and every person is a diamond. Your mission, find that diamond. And that's what I now come, you know, every time I talk to somebody, I want to find that diamond.
I'm gonna pass it to you, Teresa. Same line of questioning for you. Grabbing a script and talking with people. In the beginning, Janie told me, grab a script and talk with people, and it sounded like telemarketing to me. I was like, I am not a telemarketer. Yeah, but you can't talk to somebody like a ping pong ball on crack, you know? I'm so excited, and then there's this, and oh, I forgot to tell you about this, and oh wait, and then they're all over the map. So the script does serve its purpose in the beginning. So share with me, did you use one in the beginning? How was it like for you in the beginning recruiting? Bad. Thank you, Teresa Swindra. Can you elaborate, please? Really bad? Well, you know, then let's take it, because let's leave it at that for a second. When did it start to turn a corner for you?
It turned the corner when, a couple of times. The first time was after I had my first successful conversation. It was like, that wasn't really all that bad. I don't know why I was so nervous. When I started, when I would get someone on the phone, when I actually got the courage to dial the phone and put it to my ear and someone would answer, I'd be like, oh crap, there's a person on the phone and I have to talk to them. Just hang up on them. I did that a lot. And then it got to, okay, I can say hello, I can tell them who I am. And then they would start asking me questions. Click. And sometimes they would call me back and I would kind of look like an off, just in my class. But I remember the first time that somebody hung up on me, I cried. I was like, and my daughter was like, you hang up on people, but they can't hang up on you. It's not the same. But yeah, it was bad when I started. I had my why, and I was determined to make it work. Having my first successful conversation, that was huge. Getting through without fumbling and being a mess, and answering their questions. I did the same thing you did when I had my first person enroll. I was like, are you sure? Because she said yes, and I was like, holy crap, she said yes. Are you sure you want to do this?
Well, expecting yes is something you learn as you go. And if you're new to recruiting, take that expectation of yes, learn from the fact that we didn't. When we share this with you, it's okay, see yourself in it and don't do that. Don't do what we did, you know? I remember fumbling for that application because back then we took paper applications, you know, when people like me had walkers, and, you know, old people. We took paper applications back then, and I swear that first lady, you know, I was wrinkling things up. I was expecting no, expect yes, and take your ego out of the picture. It has nothing to do with you. We've heard that a million times this weekend. It's not about you. It's about them. Is this a fit for them? Ask the questions. That's what I'm hearing in this. I want to turn it to the next most important thing. If you're recruiting and you get people on the phone, we've heard them mention that you ask questions that find out what their why is. Well, the why is sometimes buried in the conversation. You need to be listening. You need to be an active listener in that conversation as to what they want. Hey, I'm Kelly. I'm calling you back from Ameriplan. What are you looking for? What can I do to help you? How long have you been looking for something to do from home is a great question. Oh, 8 months, you've probably bumped into all the garbage out there. Tell me what you're looking for. If somebody says all these home-based business things are junk, all they ever want is money, I'm gonna spend the first 2 minutes of that conversation talking about the money so that they understand and we're not wasting time going through an entire presentation and them waiting for the other shoe to drop. Ridiculous. So we get into that conversation, you get to know the person, but to get that conversation, and the thing we all need is leads. So let's start there not start, let's go there now. Where do you get your leads from?
A couple of different ways. I do a lot of local marketing. That's like my favorite. Matter of fact, I drove here from Minnesota and left one heck of a paper trail on my way here. Every time we stopped, I grabbed flyers and I ran into the store. My husband's like, here she goes again. You gotta leave the paper trail. I've already had several people visit my site and call me from the paper trail I've left. And I'm planning on leaving a paper trail on the way home. So I love logo marketing, online, Facebook, social media, classifieds, classified sites, job boards, purchase leads.
Okay, so you have your eggs in more than one basket. That was about 10 baskets you heard right there, right? And you leave your breadcrumbs and you'll get your phone calls from the stuff you put out in your community. You may have a lead that comes in off the internet. You may have a lead that comes in off an ad you post locally. Do you have a favorite kind of lead and what constitutes that? To me, a lead is a lead. I don't care if they were free or 10 cents or $100, they're a lead. But do you have a favorite type?
I agree. A lead is a lead. And they're breathing their lead.
Okay, good. Pass on to Victoria. I'm wanting to know how you find your leads. I know you have a little bit of a method that's different than most.
Yes. Well, one of them I'll say is I got off the airplane into Texas. I use any time I can for an opportunity to talk to somebody, right? So I get off the plane, I go down to Hertz Rent-A-Car, start talking to a woman who tells me what she's having to pay for insurance, which was, she said I had to quit it because I couldn't afford it. And she said, what are you doing? I had a chance to kind of talk to her. I was very mindful that she was at work. She gave me her number, she gave me her email address and her phone number, and wants me to call her on Monday when I'm home. I mean, I use any time I possibly can. For me personally, it's Facebook job apps, it's, purchase leads, I do use those as well. And a lot of what Teresa has said too, I'm using as well.
Advertising budget, do you spend money?
I do. I budget about, right now, I'm up at about $150, and that's kind of where I'm at.
So that's a monthly budget.
Yes.
So when you started, budget?
$50.
Okay, so some people have a budget when they start, some people have to do it for free. There's a lead company that offers 20 free leads, I don't even remember what they're called, but they, 20 free leads when you're brand new. So I remember going to that lead company, I got my grandma free leads, I got the dog free leads, I got my kids free leads, and when I was finally making enough money to pay for some, I called them up and they said, which one of your email addresses you want to put this on? And I said, how many do you have? And she said, girl, you don't want to know. I was like, oh, well, okay. So you do what you got to do at the beginning, but you have a budget. Hey, do you get to write that off on your taxes? Just wondering.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay, pass on. Now, Kathy is an expert at free advertising. Tell us a little bit about what you do to get your leads.
Basically the same like the girls doing as well. Free advertising on 3 different sites, getting free leads, using social media, local community. I do purchase leads, I do purchase paid leads. At the beginning, no budget at all.
Okay, that's important to know. What'd you do?
No budget, everything was free. Every free site that I can get onto, that's where I was. Every free lead company that was giving out those leads, I took them. And to this day, part of my marketing includes a good part of the free advertising.
Well, you want to be able to be an example for your team members and reminded that it still works.
Yes.
You know, you may have a budget now, but you still want to be able to teach other people that don't have a budget. So it's important, no matter where you are in your business, to know ways to find leads. So you have a budget now, you're pretty consistent. This is a little off topic, but with your team members, you and I were talking earlier, somebody on our team had an enrollment while we were here, Josephine Fuentes. She had an enrollment while we were at the event, and she said, hey, that's 20 free leads to you. And I said, well, 40. So Kathy runs a contest and gives out 20 leads for team members when they enroll in business. And then I'm her upline MVP and I give out 20 more. So just if you're an upline to somebody, you can start a contest where you're helping people with leads to help them get going in their business. Okay, They told you how they opened their conversation with prospects. There's meat and potatoes in the middle of that presentation that you cannot leave out. People need to know the ins and outs of the business in order to come to work with us, right? But people don't listen very long. So you only really have a very short amount of time to share the information. How do you keep your prospect engaged throughout the conversation so that they're with you? They're not going to remember everything, but they know that they're still there.
What I basically do is I will kind of like what I call like module of my conversations. Like I start off with asking them, their why, how can I help them, have they heard of our company? Then I will also go over what we are. I go over our services and give them testimonials, and then I ask them any questions. Then if they have questions, I answer those questions. Then I move on to the next part, training. I go through the information with the training. Any questions? Any questions they have, I answer them. Then I go over our compensation plan. I ask them any questions. And again, if they have questions, I'm going to answer them. If not, I then ask them, can you see yourself doing this? Is this something that you can see yourself doing? Do you like helping people?
No, I hate helping people. That's such a great way to close. Say it again.
Do you like helping people?
The line before that.
Can you see yourself doing this?
Okay. Can you see yourself doing this? How do you feel about becoming part of this team? That is not a yes or no question. It begs for expansion. You're asking somebody a question like that. You don't want no. Well, then where do you go with that conversation? Okay, well, it was nice meeting you. Bye. Wish I didn't talk this long to find that out. So you ask these open-ended questions. Do you see yourself?
Do you see yourself doing this? Is this something that you can see yourself doing? Do you like helping people?
Do you like helping people? So she is getting some yes or no's there, I guess. But you're also going to see how they feel. And then you're going to get a gauge on that. Do you close people right away?
Not all that I like to, but I do. Most people want to go over the information with their significant other, their spouse, which is fine. I personally didn't enroll that first day either. So for me, I will give them additional information. But the most important part after that is I ask them, what's a good time for us to talk tomorrow? Does this time work for you? And if they say, I'm busy tomorrow, if the next day is Thursday, whatever it is, Thursday. I set that call back. I never let a person tell me they're going to call me back because guess what? They're not. So you set that call back and you call them when you tell them you're going to call them. We have a standing appointment. I'll call you between 3:15 and 3:30. And then I send them out a personal email with the details that we just went over. And I let them know that this is my cell number. You can call or text me at any time, to answer your questions. Letting them know that right from the gate, they're going to have support.
Okay, I love that you said that. We're going to go to Victoria next, but I'm going to follow that with, when somebody is looking at this business, there are two things going on in their psychology. They are waiting for you to be a scam, and they're waiting for you to not train them. They are waiting for it to be something they're going to have to go to their spouse and say, another thing that took my money. So it's your job because that does make a difference in the enrolling process. Whether or not they do anything with it is not up to you. And by the way, if you haven't enrolled anyone yet on the recruiting side of the business, you think you're a bad coach. I'm here to tell you that you probably know more about the training than someone who's been here a long time. We're not looking at the training site every day. You are. You have a support system in place. You've got a national sales director. You've got people that are willing to help you do that. So don't let that be a hindrance for you. Victoria, how do you keep your prospect engaged?
Well, first of all, I like to reference back to their why. as I'm going through, because I want them to get a picture of them being in it, of them getting and receiving, that they're not just getting into something like a 9 to 5. Well, when you look at the end of a 9 to 5, you don't have a lot to look at. But when you can see this is yours, you're going forward with something that you're building. And then I also like to interject, like toward the end, that I'm your coach. I'm gonna walk hand in hand with you, and I agree with you. They want to know, are you gonna walk with me, or am I gonna try to call you and I can never reach you? I see that a lot.
So you're building a relationship, even in that first conversation. Unlike Kathy, and we're all different and everybody's successful in their own right. I don't like to sign people in the first conversation because I want them to study. I want them to understand what they're getting into. I don't want to take you kicking and screaming. I want to take you ready and willing. And so for me, you need to go study. Go study. If you're looking for the bad stuff about our company, you'll find it. If you're looking for the good stuff, you're going to find that too. And so it depends on where that person's at. And so in your presentation, how do you end? How do you close with that prospect?
Well, closing to me is, being able to provide the total information and saying, so are you ready to move forward? That's the word I use. And moving forward, I'm either going to hear, yes or no. The other thing that I was mentored with is, are you ready now? Or is this something that is manageable or something that's out of reach? That right there will tell you if they're ready right now or do they need to look into things. And if they want to look into things, they can do their research. I'm there to walk with them to set up a follow-up appointment and that kind of thing. But I'm not here to kind of, put my hand on their thumb, my thumb on their head, so to speak. I want to find out where they are. And then the other thing I have learned is that if they say it's out of reach, then I'm going to say, okay, is this something that you could see yourself moving forward with? I get a yes, then I'll say, then how can we get you to be, how can we move forward and get this started for you? And then I don't say anything. Because a how word makes them think, how can I put this together? If I want to do this, then I have to do A, B, C, and D.
I like that, Victoria. What you're saying about how am I going to move forward? When I'm on the phone with a prospect who financially can't right now, but is excited, I will give them something for nothing all day long. You want to start taking a look at the training? You want to come to me for the support as you're training? We'll get you to RSD in your first week. And then you won't have to worry about the cost of the business. It'll be a quick investment, a quick return. Nothing wrong with helping people before they start. Does that sometimes burn you? Yeah. So what? I mean, I'm doing it anyway, training other people anyway, right? So that's another tip in that regard. Okay, Teresa, when you're dealing with prospects, well, let's hear your close first. How do you close a conversation with a prospect?
Can I back up?
Yes.
Okay. Because I do things a little differently than the other two.
Okay,
So
for sure.
when I have a prospect, I get them on the phone, and I'm not focused on the outcome of that conversation. I'm focused on that person, finding out how I can help them, what their needs are. And I spend more time probably than I should, but I spend a lot of time on building that relationship and making that connection. I ask a lot of questions, and then from there, I have like a 3 to 5 minute overview of the company. I ask them if they have questions. I take the time to answer their questions. I've always found that's really important to take time to answer their questions. It goes back to something I think we talked about yesterday, where people may not necessarily remember what you said to them, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. And I strongly abide by that and live by that when I'm prospecting.
And I didn't start that way. In the beginning, all you want is an enrollment.
Yes.
It's almost like you forget who that person is on the other line. You're like, please sign up, I'm gonna make RSD, And for you, it's easy to say that now because you're an NSD. So I don't want people who are not there yet to think that it's it's not wrong to feel the way you feel, but you've got to be willing to let that person go.
Yes.
You hear that? So talk about that a minute.
As far as if they say.
Well, no, if it's right or not. You're in that conversation to see if it's a good fit for them. What if it isn't?
I've told people I don't think this is a good fit for you. And sometimes when I say that, they're like, I don't agree with you. Tell me
They're
more.
like, oh yeah, I'll do the $6.99. I'll show you.
Don't be afraid if you feel like it's not a good fit for them. Don't be afraid to say it. I don't think this is what you're looking for. And tell them that. And like I said, sometimes they'll surprise you. Like, oh yeah? Well, tell me more.
Be willing to let them go. I
Yes.
think that's important.
Don't be attached to the outcome. That was a big game changer for me, is not being attached to the outcome. Because when I first started, my husband was working about 80 hours a week. And that was my why, was to help him cut those hours. So I was like, enroll so that he can cut his hours. Enroll so he can cut his hours. And I wasn't getting anywhere.
People feel that.
They do. They do. Like I
Okay.
just said, they may not remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Okay, so I want to give one final question to all three of you. You have a room full of people who need guidance on recruiting, one way or another. You're an expert. What do you want to share?
I would go back to, it's not a number that's on the phone with you. It's another human being. And when you can get into their life, find out what's going on in their world, you have connected with somebody. And it may not be today, but as Teresa just said, they'll remember you. And we don't know what's going on the other side of the phone. We don't know what's going on in their life. And it may not be today, but they will remember you. And don't be surprised that even a year down the road, they see your name somewhere. They're on Facebook and they see your name and they're going, you know what? I really like that person and I'm ready.
Great.
I'm going to move forward.
Thank you. Victoria Garcia, everybody.
Quite similar way of feeling. If they're not ready, it's quite all right. I have had people come back to me 4 years later. It's the time, and it's the importance that we continuously share the information. I've always, when I talk with my team, I explain to them, consistency, persistence is their key. You must continuously put your information out there, connect with new people, constantly filling your funnel, your people to speak with, having your conversations every day, finding out what their needs are. Some you will be able to help, some you won't, but that's okay. You just move on to the next person. Having your goals set in place, having the amount of conversations you want to have each day, and staying persistent, consistent, and you're going to see things change for you.
Kathy Canero.
So kind of piggybacking off of what they were saying, when I was brand new, I don't know if I've ever shared this before, but when I was brand new, I used to listen, especially to your Smile and Talk to before, and she called me back. And she was like, do you remember? And a lot of times you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes. Think to yourself, did you enroll right away? Raise your hand right now if you enrolled on the very first conversation that you had.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, not very many. The rest of you had several conversations. It took me about 6 months. I was not a good prospect. I was terrible. I asked a lot of questions. I had to really talk it over. I was not a good prospect. But here I am, a national sales director. So take the time to spend with that person, build that relationship, so that when they're ready to get started, they're calling you.
Teresa Swendra. Now I want you guys to know that on the flip side of what they're saying, take the time with the people that are worth your time. Get the heck off the phone if they're not. People answer their phone like they're sound asleep when I call. Ooh, pet peeve. Hello. Why? Did you just answer the phone? Are you trying to make me feel bad? That's awful. Gotta go. Bye. But if you get yourself to a place where you're having conversations with somebody great, they are worth the investment. And what I heard each and every one of these ladies talk about setting the time to have the conversations, it doesn't matter whether you feel like it or not. You have a headache, you don't feel good, oh well, you still need to talk to 5 new prospects every day. I don't care if you're part-time, that's 5. If you're full-time, I expect more. You have those conversations,